Hi, I'm Chris. Exodus 20 verse 8 says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." Mark 2 verse 27 says, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." There's no contradiction here. Remember, Jesus came to fulfill the law, not to abolish or destroy it. In that context, he was giving explanation of how important the Sabbath is because it's a command of God. But every command of God glorifies him and is for our benefit. So, similar to many examples, if in fact your ox fell into a ditch or somebody was in need of food, you would do what was necessary even on the Sabbath because life is important to God. So if your Sabbath happens to be on a Thursday and that's the only thing that you can make happen, that's what you do. God will honor that. But a lot of times what's occurring is a statement of fear rather than a profession, a living profession of faith, in that people don't believe that the Lord can supply their needs by them just working for those 6 days. I have to get that extra day in. That's usually the case when you're trying to chase waterfalls or rainbows or the Joneses. And in that case, there'll never be enough days and there'll never be enough money. And I have observed and listened to enough people to recognize that the people who are serious about God, he's serious about you learning his truths. And if you don't take your Sabbath, if you don't take your rest, he will claim it or them for you. And you may have a long period of illness or whatever it takes to slow you down. And you don't want to go that route. And before it accumulates to anything that great, consider this. The best study techniques say what? You go 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. Or if you're really strong and have a lot of endurance, or you just really enjoy the subject, if you go 2 hours, take 25 minutes. So there's work and there's rest. Even with athletes, when they're training, they tear their muscles down. They work hard and that breaks the muscle down. But then they rest so the muscle can build itself back up. And if there's not proper rest, if there's not proper recuperation, you eventually end up with an injury. And that may be the reclamation of your Sabbath right there. God is consistent in wanting us to rest. And it's not just for our physical bodies, it's for our minds, it's for our focus. We can say, well, I'm just going to push further. I'm salaried. It doesn't matter how much I work. Well, yes, it does. We have to get away. We have to refocus, because there was a story, an analogy of a person who was the best worker. They knew he'd always come through. So the project manager says, "Hey, you're my best foreman. We've got a project. It's in the jungle. We're going to drop you off. We've already got the materials. We used a helicopter to get it in. We need you to build a road so we can continue on with our work." And he says, "Well, I was really going to take a break, but if you want me to go, I'll go." So he gets in there and the project manager is laying him out on the desk. And he says, "Okay, you just start here and just head in that direction. You'll be fine." Well, the fatigue had set in on the foreman. And while he thought he was doing good work, what he thought was north was actually west. The desk where they looked was not the way it was laid out. So when they called for their weekly progress, "How you doing?" "Oh, we're fine. We're fine. We're half a day ahead of schedule." They called the second week. "Hey, we're 2 days ahead of schedule." After a month, he's saying, "Wow, this is great. Project manager's gonna fly in and see our progress. This is great." While flying in, the project manager looks down aerial because he's still in the air, and he calls and said, "What are you doing?" He said, What are you saying? What's the problem?" "You're going in the wrong direction." "Oh, well, at least we were making great progress." Really? No. If you're not going where you intend to go, it's not progress. And if you're so tired, if you're so unfocused because of fatigue or because things have become too much the norm, you're not profiting anybody. Take rest, take a break, refocus. It is of God. And along those same lines, a good friend sent me a video today of people down in Texas frying a steak on the sidewalk. They had a skillet, it wasn't going to get dirty, but the concrete was so hot it was frying the meat. So I'm saying this, spiritually, everything is from the inside out. That is how we live our Zoe life, our best life in God, that godly life. Well, from a physical health standpoint, it's great to have an AC in all this heat, but if you don't hydrate, it's for naught. So drink before you get thirsty, and then drink some more. Stay healthy, be safe, grace and peace. Bye-bye.